Roma in media. So how get Romani people represented in media? Do they have their own media platforms? And also how Roma get reported by mainstream media also?
I study public relation and marketing, and we was in a TV state channel, and it's really interesting because you have from the state in every language their channels. So you have Romanes for Roma people, and you have for Turkish people, Albanian people, Macedonian people, of course, and for Turkish people. I think it's so.
Welcome to the Amaro Voice podcast. Amaro is from the Romani language and means our. Our Roma, Sinti, and Tirala voices among Europe. My name is Henry Remishi. I'm a journalist and Roma activist from Germany. Hello, Melissa. How are you? And if you want, you can also introduce yourself again.
Hi, I'm fine, and you? Hello, I'm Melissa. I'm from Leipzig, and I'm glad to be here.
So today we will talk about Roma youth advocacy, especially uh, Roma advocacy for NGOs. How can NGOs use that? At the end we will talk, but in beginning we will talk also about Roma in media. So how get Romani people represented in media? Do they have their own media platforms? And also how Roma get reported by mainstream media also? When you think about Roma in media, so what do you know? Maybe also to start with some positive.
I mean, you are in the media, you make a lot work in the media. I think you can tell us about your work and maybe the feedback what you get from people, because I think I'm not the only one who think about, okay, who which Roma is an activist or is in social media or in the media, and you are a good example for that. So what do you think about it?
Okay, so okay, I'm not just the only good example. I think now we have more. So, example, Roma and Sinti in Germany, but also in other countries where it's just the term Roma. In many countries, we are a national minority. So that means that a national minority has special rights and also rights for media. So, and this also means in many European countries, Roma has their own like media platform with public media together. So what I'm doing, what other do with podcasts, example like Romanistan podcast and many other podcasts, and also what other do on social media, is just that we are private people as journalists, like self-made, and we do our self-made work. But I think there's a difference between doing something with the public media, which has um, higher level of educating also people and creating advocacy. And also, of course, nowadays with social media and with digital platforms, there's also the chance to be self-made.
But I remember when I was a child in Macedonia, we had a TV channel. I don't know if you had that in Kosovo, but we had it, and we had music and also people they talk in our language, and that was the old school thing. And now you have what you said we have now in social media for the new generation, like the new media channels. And I mean, you have a big spectrum of that. So you have people they do podcast, and other people they make jokes on TikTok in our language, or they are like influencer in our language in our community. And also you have people they talk about our history in social media, and I think it's a good spectrum. Like the German people, for example, they have also like that. But I think it's really special for us. We have the same thing for us.
I know that in North Macedonia there is like a TV channel just for Roma. So I forgot the name, but maybe people from Roma people from North Macedonia who are right now watching or listening, and especially watching on YouTube, please make a comment and write us in the comments how is the TV channel, how is the name of the TV channel of this Roma TV. Yeah, so
Yeah.
first in Kosovo, so my dad was a journalist in Kosovo, and in Kosovo we have the public media called Radio Television Kosovo. So in that time, Radio Televizija Kosovo, and this was public media, radio and television, and he was, um, it was mainstream, but they had like their own reduction for Serbians, for Albanians, and for Roma. And I mentioned Serbians because of the war is was like this, and they had also Roma reduction. So like Roma had their own radio show. Roma had their own like show or TV show, something like this,
Yeah, shows, yeah.
like a sub channel from the main channel. And
Mm.
so my dad was working like in redaction for the television, but and also was moderating the radio show in Roma language about Roma music and Roma culture, etc. And was also having in radio live a lot of famous Roma musicians, singer, um, and interviewing them, showing their new music. And I think, like also example in Sweden, you have Radio Romano, who is part of Sverige Radio. So Sverige Radio is like a public radio media, and also in Czech Republic you have Romea.
Mm.
It's like a Roma official Roma media platform. So I think we have a lot of good examples in Europe, and also maybe if you know for the people who are watching right now, if you know other examples, you can also again make a comment and tell us. And like this in Germany we don't have. In Germany it's just having self-made people.
Yeah, private. Yeah, we don't have that like in North Macedonia. What I want to say, I studied public relation and marketing, and we was in a TV state channel, and it's really interesting because you have from the state in every language their channel. So you have Romanes for Roma people, and you have for Turkish people, Albanian people, Macedonian people, of course, and for Turkish people. And I think it's so nice, and I think we need that also here in Germany.
Mm.
And in Germany, what we said, we have only private person. They do this work. Some private people have financial support. That's great. But some people, they do it in their free time. So without money. And I think both is really good, but I have a respect for people, they make it by themselves and they don't have financial support.
Mm. Yeah, so but also I think nowadays, like you also explained, the media got changed a lot, and now you said also we have podcasts, social media, and this also means you can do from your home. So you don't need to apply to the big companies to learn from them.
Mm.
You can learn by yourself in. So you can even learn watching YouTube tutorials to and get to know to do some things and just to start. And I think this is also easier because you can show the people, or you can prove yourself, and you can show what you can do, but also by doing by example or doing by practicing, or it's like a practice work, because then you work every day or every week, and you learn even more with this.
We talked about media channels who use the Roma community against that. So when they make a documentation about Roma people and show them the typical stereotypes, what do you think about people? They make I don't know. They make these videos in social media, in the new media platforms about Roma, and they think they know what Roma are and make videos about it. What do you think? Also, like we have, I don't want to talk about some people from our spectrum, from our people, but I see a lot of TikTok videos, they're against us. They're really
Mhm.
against us. And I mean, also for the people who watch that, who hear that, what you can do when you see these videos on social media, what we can do to avoid it.
Mhm. So I think it's very example here is Roma youth advocacy example. So advocacy to do this work is important because sometimes when people get against you, when people make videos against you, example, influencer, content creator can be also like on TikTok, on YouTube. So one person who is loud can, or few persons who are loud and say something can look like they are more than the others because there are more people who are quiet to do nothing against about it. So that means just to take action to make advocacy. Example, on TikTok you have the possibility, if you upload videos and you get comments, you can react on this comment by a video directly to this person. So if somebody is full racist against Romani people, then it's very difficult to do something about it. But what you can do about it is, or the main problem is like when we go back to the public or official media, press media. So the thing is that we have two kind of contents from them right now. So the narrative is they do something stereotypical. In the past, they was using the racial slur when they was doing reports, documentations from private media, from public media in whole Europe. So right now, the public media don't use so often right now the racial slur, but the content, the video, like the report, the documentation, how it looks, and the pictures in there are very anti-gypsistic, so very stereotypical. So we will talk later about stereotypes in our rubric, and this create the narratives of some Roma people in Europe or in the world to people who maybe know less about Roma. And the other narrative, what I realized is that, example, I can just talk for Germany. In Germany, we have important, or also for Europe, we have important days. Like the 2nd of August is the day for remembrance about the Sinti and Roma genocide. And also, example, the 8th of April is the International Roma Day. And we have also a few other days who are important for the Romani people and also for the Sintis. And then the media make just small or short reports, and the media
If
just make short reports if they make, like you said,
mm,
yes, if they make just short reports about with some NGOs, 2 3 minute video about the 2nd of August or about 8th of April or example, very less.
yeah,
But on the other days and other narratives, they don't show or they don't do.
that's not so interesting for them. Um, that's really sad. But um, I remember when I was younger, we learned about safe space. Do you remember when you was in a workshop and they talk with you about, okay, if you want to do later some workshops for people they don't know about Roma? Before we talk how to do a workshop, we learned how to get our safe space, how we make our construct from a safe space. So safe space to be safe around yourself, your in your bubble, and I think that's the same when you make work with social media, with the media, new media. And guys, if you want to do some videos on TikTok, on social media, etc., uh, you have hate comments. Whatever you want, do talk about Roma against their stereotypes. You have some people who will write some stuff in it. What's said, what's hurt yourself, and so it's more important to have a safe space and to know how you manage with this hate speech in new media.
Mm.
And also you have also the right to avoid the comments, right? So you can make a click and then no comments anymore. But yeah, I think for me it's also sad to read about it. That makes me really angry when I make videos or I see some people, they talk about Roma history or something else, and then you have in the comments some bullshit, and that makes me sad. And I think also the people or this human who makes the video. So get your safe space, make your video, and maybe when it's better for you, avoid the comments.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks for watching us. If you want to support us, you can like this video and give us a comment. And to not miss our episodes, you can subscribe our YouTube channel. If you are watching or listening right now on Spotify or listen on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts, you can follow our podcast. To get all informations from us, go and follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Amaro Voice. So now it's time for a rubric called Breaking Stereotypes about Roma. I asked ChatGPT to give me 10 stereotypes about Romani people. So now we continue. This is now the sixth stereotype, but I will represent you, and then we can talk about it. So, um, Sinti and Roma are uneducated. So there is the that Sinti and Roma uh, are not educated well. They don't go to schools, and um, yeah, so uneducated. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is also always what I'm hearing when I go somewhere, that they're saying like these Roma kids, they don't go to school, and the country and the Roma parents need to do something that they go to school.
But they didn't know why some kids have trouble in school. So they don't know that the kids at school have some discrimination on it. So when you go to school and you can't say you're Roma because of some people will say, "Oh, you are dirty" or something else, and they put their stereotypes away. So in your face and around you, everybody hears that. So not only the childs at school, also the adults. So when you have teacher, and they can be also like that. So they say some stereotype about Roma, and they tell us in front of you. So, oh, you're Roma, you are this, 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 this. I mean, I know some people who didn't say that at school.
Mhm.
I mean, how was it for you? I had no problems.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had no problems because I was in a private school and they was really nice and really open. I was lucky, but I know from other people they didn't say that because they
Mhm.
don't want to have this trouble.
So for me, the case was that I didn't say it in the school that I'm Roma,
Mhm.
but not because I was hiding my I mean, kinda, I was hiding my identity, but not because I was ashamed. It was because a trauma from the war. So when we
Mm.
came from the war, when we escaped from Kosovo to Germany, we was like suspicious to everybody who was speaking Albanian. So when we had Albanian neighbors in Germany, we wasn't taking care. So we was very yeah, scared to speak outside the Romani language. So I was just allowed when I in the early of 2000s, when I was younger, my parents told me when you go outside, don't speak the Romani language. In some cases, if you some Albanians see you and because of the war situation, that they not do something to you. So I was told just to speak the Romani language at home when I was uh, younger, when I was like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. And also for me was that if I would say that I'm Roma, people would not believe me because everybody was thinking that I'm Turkish. So, but later from 8th to ninth grade, I told some friends that I'm Roma, but I think I don't, because I don't know about this. If I should have problem in the school or not, as a Roma. I was like in Germany in different schools. So before I was where I live now, I was in Western Germany, and the school knew that I'm Roma because it was a special school for Roma children and Ashkali from the war, and they knew that I'm Roma, but it was like a extra school because they separated the Germans with the refugees. But I was there just 1 2 days because then when the teacher on this uh, s- class for refugees saw that I don't know that I and another girl uh, was they saw that we have maybe more potential, and then they took us and brought us to the German class. But in this school, it was like the first grade. I was just few months, and then we moved to the area where I live now in southwest of Germany.
I think every child have the potential to get a diploma or everything. You need to support it, uh, even when you are the parents or the teacher or I don't know the state. No matter which ethnicity, from which country, whatever, child is child, and I think for me, I don't care which nationality is it, and I think that's a big problem in our society. We separate communities, we separate from refugees, we separate them from other nationalities.
That was how they decided, So
Mm-mm.
it's not my words, of course. It's their words
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't know what they did. They did some math test, I think, and then from this they choose two of us to bring us to the German school because I was in Kosovo in preschool. It was a
Mm.
mix of school and kindergarten.
Mm.
And in Kosovo before the war, there was also like this that you had to do, depended on where you was living. You had schools where the school was in Albanian language, but you had also schools where the school was in Serbian language. And
Mm.
also every area had their school. So like the Roman neighborhood where I came from had their school, but it wasn't that much strong school because in Kosovo, former Yugoslavia, in that time, every school it was like a little bit communistic. It was every school was different, and I was, and also my family, my uncles, my aunts, my father, because my grandfather was also there. He was in another school where just was Serbians, and this school. I don't want to say that it's a elite school because then I would sound a little bit arrogant. But in this school, there was children of politicians, of
Mm.
police people, of journalists, of like high positional people, high level position, like
Higher
the,
class
yeah,
like
higher
that.
class
Mm.
in that time from Kosovo, like the Serbians from the former Yugoslavia who lived in Kosovo. Their parents was in higher class, and so the children was also there in school. So um, yeah, and because of my grandfather as a Roma was also in the school,
Mm.
and because of my grandfather, so my whole family, like all my aunts, all my uncles, my dad, my brother, and I was also in the school. And in this school, you start like in preschool. It's a mix of kindergarten and school, but also you make like. So what I did in Kosovo in preschool, I did in Germany in second or third grade.
Mm.
So, uh, so what I was doing, like a mix of German second or third grade, I was doing in Kosovo in preschool. So, and there you go, like the primary school is like until 8th grade. So and yeah, so I wanted to say I explained this because I want to say they there everybody knew that we are Roma.
Mm.
My grandfather, my family, and also my brother and I, and nobody had a problem. So about this, I can speak about it, but in Germany, I don't know because uh, I wasn't because of the war allowed to talk about it.
I have no experience in that. I mean, Thanks God, because I know some people who has really big trouble in school because the teacher had the problem only because they are Roma and they have some stereotypes in their brain. But I think we need to look what we can do better and to save the children at school.
Mm.
And also, what is really important, to make workshops with teacher and to change, finally, to change at school about Roma history. To talk in history class about the genocide against Roma
Mm.
and Sinti. And um, when you have that, we talk about in previous episodes, change that in the history class, and everybody will know about Roma, and uh, the stereotypes are not so,
Mm.
hopefully not so big anymore. So yeah, you have stereotypes, but you know the history, why this and this and this, and then you think about your stereotypes when you have this class and when you talk about Roma history.
And I think also it's important to mention, because in the beginning we didn't say that I know a lot of Roma people in Germany, but also in other European countries, who are students who go to university, who was who are educated very well. In Germany we have the student NGO, and also in other countries we have Roma student NGOs. Even it's possible you have the CEU Romani status, so uh, you can even like a special study program for Roma, um, and even more. So we have a lot of Romani people in Europe. I don't know about other continents, but just to talk about Europe, who are educated very well, who have bachelor or master, and even
Higher
higher
positions, yeah.
position, doctor, professors. We have also a professor, Hristo Kuchukov. You remember him? He was also
Yeah.
in some events with Amaro and also he was in Dikina Vista last year, I think. Yeah. This was Breaking Stereotypes about Roma. We talked about the stereotypes, so that means also to fight the stereotypes, NGO work is very important. Like formal NGO, or maybe NGO like youth NGOs. So how important is nowadays the social media for Roma youth advocacy? So how or maybe also how do you use social media for your work?
So for me, it's the most important work with social media for me because I'm glad I'm also a younger generation. So I didn't use really books or, okay, you have seminars, you have workshops, you have some evenings, but you have your phone, right? And you have Wi-Fi and you have social media. And I think the new generation, who's really important for us, are on social media. And when you do some work like videos, pictures, Q&As, or also text messages, it's so helpful because you change the stereotypes. You talk about our history. You talk our about our topics. So, and yeah, I can talk for me. I don't know how about you, but I know also from older generations they have a little bit, I don't want to discriminate them, but they have a little bit trouble with social media. So when I see my dad, that's different how he used social media than me.
Yeah, I think compared also like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, NGO work, it was
Mm.
just offline basic. You did an event, you invited people to come, maybe a seminar, workshop, or other stuff. So that means you reach just the people who was there. But nowadays, if you make these things, or if you also make other digital projects, example, or other digital stuff, you can easily, when you make, example, for Instagram stories or videos and post them or other stuff, you can easily create more visibility for this topic, and also create with this advocacy, right? About Roma, so about, you can talk about human rights. I remember a few years ago, I think it was in 2021, the or 2020, I'm not sure, when the Roma man got killed by police in Czech Republic.
Mm.
So in the beginning, the Czech Republic forbid the press media to talk about it. So they wanted to keep it quiet, that the European Union, the EU, don't know about it. And
Yeah.
then, and also there was forbidden some Roma activists and NGOs from Czech Republic to talk about it. So, but how we created advocacy for that, so that, or visibility, because the Roma activists from Czech Republic, who had some friends from another European countries, that was contacting many people, and so everybody was doing something to this topic, and was reporting about this topic, telling about something, making a social media video. I remember in German language, when I had my first podcast, German speaking podcast, I created a podcast episode about this. Other um, people created like a statement video on Instagram. Other people create maybe demonstration because they have more, they do more this kind of work with NGO, did the
We
demonstration.
did
So
that. Yeah, we
yeah,
did
you
it
did that.
in
Yeah, I saw
Dresden,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
for the embassy.
I saw also in
Yeah.
Berlin, they was also doing that. So
Yeah, yeah.
many things. And because of that, before the media didn't knew nothing about it, like the mainstream media, and because of the activists, was everybody was doing by themselves advocacy about this topic, then the media um, was doing at least a report and was reporting about what happened. So yeah, so this is how I think social media can be used also.
Don't get me wrong, I love the evenings to talk with people face to face. But
Yeah.
I think in the change in the corona time and the COVID time, you have a lot to do, or you did more in social media, and you have your pro and contrast, and you have also for the evenings. I mean, when you are doing your work offline, you have pro and contrast, and the important thing is to get to spread your information out. So if you do it offline, nice, that's good. But when you do it all, but when you do it also online, it's also really helpful.
I think offline doing stuff is also nice. Like example, a few months ago, I was at the Roma Week in Brussels for at least 4 or 5 days, and I was meeting friends who I knew, people from other NGOs from other European countries, and also some people from other cities from Germany was there, who I know, and I was recording every day something, and so I used also kind of this offline event, um, because I created a vlog and recorded like with my phone every day what I was doing, and create like a one video which also is on Amaro Voice on YouTube. So for the people, if you didn't watch it, just go and find for Roma Week 2025 vlog. Yeah, so I think visiting offline events and combining maybe with media and with digital stuff is also nice. But yeah, so I think it's possible for both.
Yeah, I see it also like that.
We are almost coming to the end. So now, before we have the closing words, it's anecdote time. So do you have some anecdote? And yeah,
I mean, we talk about social media, and I remember my first TikTok video. What's a little bit viral was, it was not, but for me it was. Oh my god, maybe, I don't know, 1,000 people looked at or something like that. It was in Macedonia. It was a wedding, and I made a video how to change my clothes you make this move and then you are in your traditional clothes, you know. And for me, it was the shalwara, you know, and I make this move and then I posted online and so many comments with, oh, beautiful, this shalwara looks good and something like that. I was so shocked that so much people looked at video and also that I had great comments.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's nice. So I remember I always wanted to do something with media because uh, my dad was a journalist, and as a kid, when I was 4 or 5, he took me to his job with him when he was doing his radio live thing, and then I watched him, and since then I knew I wanted to be something with media. And then when I was visiting my grandpa, I was uh, like my playing was like doing like I was moderating something and making like a show and something. And
Cute.
since then, I wanted this. And but when we came in Germany, I wasn't sure if I should do like in front of microphone or camera. And then I said, so doesn't matter. Some if I wasn't sure if I should be journalist,
Mm.
like doing or like podcast now because I'm in front of camera, microphone. So I wasn't sure of that, and then I was thinking, okay, let's be behind the camera, behind the scenes, and let's learn first the structural media stuff. So then I
Mm.
was in media art school. I learned how to do graphics, how to edit videos, how to edit audio, and many other stuff. So we had like over 25 lessons in 2 years for 25 different kind of media stuff jobs. Um, so in every direction, we learned everything from media. And after this, I was working for public media, like big public media in Germany called ZDF. And on ZDF, there is on Sunday always like how to say, a live show about music. You know it, Fernsehgarten. It's like uh,
Oh my
class.
god, it's that Schlager,
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's
German music.
yeah,
Warum
German
hast
Schlager.
du nicht Nein
Yeah, so it's
gesagt?
like the most, how to say,
The
traditional,
nicest channel,
traditional,
whatever you see.
traditional and stereotypical music what you can about German. So
I
and
love it.
I was working there, so I was the microphone guy. I was
Mm.
I was preparing for the artists, because on Friday and Saturday we we was working, like staging, like I don't know how to speak in English because on Sunday it was a live show, so that means you need to practice for that. So
Mm.
to practice for the camera crew how they record because they have 3 4 cameras who record at the same time. Then for the people in the mixer in the room who need to switch between different cameras. Then also for me because I need to know which artist will be there. Just one artist, will it be a band to give them the
Mm.
microphone? And like sometimes we had people who was doing live music, and then you need to like the music boxes to prepare more things, and then like um, the microphone stand thing, like and then you need to mark on the floor with paper, with stuff, and then you need to write this artist or this band need 3 microphones because 3 of them will singing. Then you need to mark on the ground where you need to put the boxes, the stand, the microphone thing stuff. And I was doing this 2 years, and it was really funny because I
But
really
I
loved
have a
it.
question.
Yeah.
Um, some people did live music or they did a lot of playback
So
music.
should I tell the story now?
Like,
No. So example. So there are 3 style of things. So one is called playback,
mm,
one is called half playback, and one is
mm-hmm,
called live. So
mm-hmm.
the mostly thing
It's
was
playback.
playback from the Schlager.
Yeah.
So for the playback, we had a different microphones. So we had one microphone for live and one microphone for playback. So they look different. But for people who just watch the show, they cannot realize just for us,
Mm,
because one was like a dummy. It
Yeah.
was a real microphone without a battery.
Yeah.
And so the playback, I gave them this one, so they acted like singing. But the
I
half,
think for me, I didn't know that, but my mom
yeah,
showed me, come on, you see. And you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the people, maybe
Yeah.
they are 1 second before they need to make
But-
lip sync. But
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's
But-
so funny they make
But
so
then there's
failed.
also half playback. So half
Mm.
playback, we had this also sometimes. Half playback is like example, we didn't have just Schlager music and also basic pop music. We had also sometimes some rappers and some famous pop singer or newcomer pop singer. We had also. So some of them had also half playback. So for half playback, there was a different microphone where there was really singing, but in background there was no band. It was just the instrumental. Like for rap, the beat, the instrumental was playing.
Like acoustic.
No, not acoustic. It means like you play from the track.
Aha.
So the mixer, the audio engineer make a play on the instrumental, like the real instrumental, and the rapper, he's rapping live, but the instrumental is not get played live, you know. So this is called half playback, and the live is everything live: the drums, the guitars, piano, the singer, so everything live. So sometimes we had also sometimes we had some rock bands from USA coming, and then they was doing live, and it was complicated because then we needed to give them real microphones. The microphone stand was different because it was a different microphone. And then for playback, you need to have on the floor a box where you like in ear, you had in ear on your ear to hear yourself singing, and you had
Yeah.
also on the box to listen to the instrumental because you cannot listen behind you, just to listen for yourself, you know. So, and then we needed to prepare this, and then also the cable to plug it in for fully live, you know. So sometimes we had also live, but very rare. So
Today we learned about the Schlager channel, how they sing or lip sing. So yeah, nice.
Yeah. So
Why not?
that was my previous life before I was being activist, because my contract ended in 2017, and after 2017 I was participating in Digitale. We are coming to the end. Do you have any closing words?
No. It was a
Yeah.
night episode.
Yeah, I think also. And let's see what the future will give us about media. Maybe I hope in future there will be more public media content about Roma, but also created by Roma, not just from other journalists created about Roma, also created by Roma journalists and Roma content creator and people who are in the media. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Ciao and Devlesa.
Bye.
This podcast is funded by the Stiftung Erinnerung, Verantwortung und Zukunft (EVZ) as part of the project Amaro Voice, digitale Bildungsarbeit über die Communities der europäischen Sinti und Roma bei der NGO Medien und Kulturzentrum Deutscher Roma e.V.